So Akhilesh mentioned this to me a couple of days ago, and I've been thinking about, okay, what story should I share? So as some of you know, I started at Yahoo when I was a kid. Actually, all of us who started Yahoo were kids. But after I quit Yahoo, probably for 15 years after that, I really didn't talk about my experience out there because it was been there, done that, I wanted to do something else. But in the past 2 to 3 years, I've started talking out a bit more about it. So I'll continue that journey. So many of you spoke about mentors, right? I'll call them bosses for me. And so far in my life, I've had 2 bosses, like in my first startup company, Jim Rawson, and at Yahoo, Zad Nazem. And both of them were fairly influential to who I am today. And I'm still in touch with them. They still, actually both of them are funders of Tech4Dev also. And the story of Jim that I remember is, actually, before I talk about Jim, I'll just give you a background on Yahoo. I was an immigrant student working at startups in the US, and obviously I didn't have a support system out there, so money was really important to me. And I couldn't quit my job at my startup with Jim because it was paying the bills, and I just couldn't go work at Yahoo for free. And so I told the founders, Dave and Jerry, and I'd worked with Dave at a startup that Jim had started. And I've got lots of stories of Dave, but I won't tell them out here right now. And I told Dave that the minute you get funding, I'll come and join you because I need a paycheck. I cannot do this with a paycheck. So Dave and Jerry got funding from Sequoia via this amazing VC called Mike Moritz. I don't know if any of you follow the VC world, but Mike is also a super amazing guy, and he's a friend right now also. And I'm hoping to hit him up for my next Tech4Dev round for funding. But I want that to be a really big round, right? So if I'm going to hit Mike and Jerry, I'm going to hit them for $1 million or so. But that's yet another story we won't go into. So I'm going to kind of stop going into all these various diversions. So because Dave and Jerry knew me, so Mike was the one who was going to interview me and make me an offer. And I met Mike at Sequoia's offices a few times. And before I would go to the office, right, and Sequoia had also funded the company that Jim had started called Redwood Design. So Jim would pull me into a room an hour before I went to Sequoia's office, and he would sit with me for an hour and teach me on what to ask him and how to answer to some of his questions. They weren't technical questions. It was like, what percentage of the company do you want? What's your salary, etc. So it was kind of like a pseudo negotiation. And so Jim would basically teach me and talk to me about how to talk to Mike. And that was quite amazing, right? So basically Jim was helping me find my next job. And I think that's super important, both as a boss and as an employee, right? That if you're not happy, you should be willing to tell your boss that, hey, I really don't like my job. And your boss should be willing to help you find a new job, help you find a place where you really can succeed and thrive. Or sometimes if you're a small company, if you want to take the next largest step, and it happens a lot with NGOs and small software companies like Colored Cow or Web Access, right? Where someone just wants to go to something bigger, something larger, bigger paycheck. Like, you should have a boss who's willing to help you along that journey. And finding such people, I think, is super important. So whenever you do have a job or something, make sure that you have a great boss, because that's super important. So that was my Jim story. I've got a really bad Zad story, and I'm quite ashamed of that, so I won't talk about that in my interview with Zad, but we won't really go into that. My other story is, and this came in an article in Rolling Stones magazine, and also in a couple of books on Yahoo, right? So all of us were really, I would say we were a combination of multiple things, right? We were young, naive, sleep deprived, really, really tired from working ridiculously long hours. So after we started hiring engineers and everything, the first secretary that we hired, right, she would give me a wake-up call at like 6 a.m. in the morning or 5:30 a.m. or some ridiculous time, and I would go into work at 6 a.m. And I would probably leave work at 12 a.m. at midnight. And the rest of the engineering staff who would actually leave, come in much later, right? All of them would come to the door and wave me good night, right? Like they were making fun of me for leaving so early. Like, and then I would turn around and tell them, F you, I'm going to be back here at 6 a.m. and none of you are going to be out here. So we had a really good group of early engineers out there, and all of us were friends, but we also worked like 7 days a week, 16 hours a day kind of deal. We would also sleep under our desks. And I remember one Thanksgiving, like we were near Castro in Mountain View downtown, and all of us went to this Chinese restaurant, and I probably had the worst meal of my life out there. And we look at each other, and at that point in time, we didn't know whether we were going to succeed or fail. And so when I would recruit engineers, right, my pitch to them was like, I have no idea if you're going to be in business in 6 months, but I guarantee you that the next 6 months will be the best 6 months of your life. And that guarantee proved to be true for pretty much all the engineers that I hired. And then at that round table, like there were 10 or maybe 8 or 10 of us, like we look at each other and just look at each other and say like, what the fuck are we doing out here? Like this is so pathetic, right? It's Thanksgiving, it's like the Indian Diwali, like it's the greatest, it's the biggest holiday out here, and we are eating this crappy meal. Like what are we doing in life? But there were the highs and there were lows, right? But I think as a group we stuck together, and luckily for us, we were in the right place at the right time with the right group of guys. And at that point in time, there were very few people, like even in my Indian friend network out there, right, pretty much most of my friends told me like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you giving up a good job with a guaranteed paycheck to jump to this startup, and no one's going to make this money off this internet thingy? Yeah, you're just crazy, you're just stupid, right? But I think in life you have to be willing to take risks, right? You have to be willing to jump off a cliff without knowing how deep the pool is. And sometimes you know you're going to dive in and start swimming, and there will be times when you're just going to splash on the ground and basically that's it. It was a failure. But it's okay to have failures. But I think it's important to be willing to jump off, right? Try to look at the pros and cons and make the best decision, but never be afraid to take a chance. So I think that I'll end with that.